you gave me some information to think about after this happened with me and how to make sense of it and how to understand how my own life might be different post NDE. And I'm wondering if you would just share with us what some of those commonalities, because I think NDEs are not that uncommon.
No, you're right. I think the research on NDEs is somewhere between like 5 and 10% of the American population will have them.
Okay.
The North American, I should say. Yeah. Um, so, all right. So the commonalities in terms of after effects are this sense that this realization that human death is kind of an illusion, is that we survive human death and we go on a different form. And as lack of better terms, spirit beings, we become spirits, we drop the body and we go on. The NDE tends to deliver that realization. That becomes like empirically clear. I know this happens. The other piece is fear of death ameliorates. It's just, you maybe have fear of dying, like your process of dying because it's painful, but death itself, no. That just 90% of respondents and NDE experiencers will say, I have a cessation of fear or an anxiety about death itself.
Okay. Yeah.
People tend to have a sense of renewed sense of purpose about life. Like all of a sudden they kind of see life through a different lens. It's like, oh, as you said so well, it's like, oh, this is how it's happening. Oh, this is where I am. It's like, oh, okay. Well, once you realize, oh, there is something after life, well, then you realize, well, there's something to human life. So there's kind of a process that can be facilitated where people come back. And this is one thing that, I and other therapists who are familiar with these experiences, we call this an integration experience. And it's very important that people who have the types of experiences we're talking about, near-death experiences, shared-death experiences, and any spiritually transformative experience, engages in a very deliberate, intentional process of integration. And that begins with a sense of learning about the experience you had, like getting information about it, like so you kind of validate for yourself the experience did happen. You go over it in your mind a number of times. You deepen into it. You look around, you kind of do a more methodical exploration of what actually happened. And then you tap the lessons from it. Like, what was it trying to teach me? Like, why did I have this? And what am I supposed to learn from it? And then you go and I always encourage people to share it with trusted people, and then consider sharing it more broadly, and get in touch with your fears about sharing it. Like, what are you afraid people are going to say to you when you do share this experience? So, and then eventually you really want to get to a state of living your life with that experience informing it. In other words, I asked this question: if you were to live your life from the truth that were delivered to you in your near-death experience, how would your life change? What would you do differently? How would you be living in integrity with your near-death experience or shared death experience?